Today I'm going to be trying out the brand new Patrick Ta foundation. This has got to be the prettiest foundation packaging ever. I am so in love with this packaging. I feel like it needs to be on display. It does get a little bit messy with fingerprints, I will say that, but other than that, look how stunning this packaging is. Like, so luxe. It is a $58 foundation, so I'm going to put it to the test. Major Skin Hydra Luxe Luminous Skin Perfecting Foundation. That name is extremely long, but I feel like it's just going to be a glowy foundation. Straight into the packaging, this is how it does come in the box. It is a glass component, which I do appreciate. It's going to retail for $58 and there is 30 shades available. It's going to be a radiant finish. Best for combination and normal skin as well as dry skin. It does not have a claim for oily skin, and I think that's because it's obviously going to have more of that very dewy, very glowy look to the skin where it can come across as being an oily look if you apply too much skincare prior. I do feel like I remember Patrick Ta mentioning that you don't even have to use skincare products prior to applying this product because it's supposed to be meant to be worn by itself. It's supposed to be packed with skin loving ingredients. That could be a major hit or a major miss, and we'll see about that in a second. And like I said, I heard some mixed reviews on this, so I do love a glowy look and a more hydrated, radiant look to the skin, so I feel like this is so up my alley. But again, if it's going to be a slippery, slidey mess, we'll just have to wait and see on that. It's going to be a lightweight, luminous foundation with serum-inspired ingredients. I personally love the sound of that. Some people are on the fence about it because if it's too much serum, it's going to slip and slide, and it's going to have your other products not play as nicely with it. So keep that in mind. Not all the time do I love a serum infused foundation. There are some out there that I've tried that I don't like for that reason. It is supposed to be buildable with a medium coverage, and it is supposed to boost hydration and blur any look of imperfections. All of that sounds like a hit to me, so I cannot wait to apply it to the skin. The ingredients is going to have kombucha, which I thought was really interesting. That's going to help enhance the radiance and the smoothness of the skin, which I thought was a really cool ingredient. There's also plant-derived squalene, which is going to help improve any elasticity and the look of any fine lines. Also going to be 3 forms of hyaluronic acid, which is going to help plump and hydrate. So I did get the shade 14 Golden. Now, the only thing with that shade is that I feel like it's going to only work for my self-tan shade. I did briefly mention this in my previous video, my Sephora haul, that I wanted to get the shade 13, I think it was olive, and that is sold out literally everywhere online, so I couldn't get that shade, and I went back to try to get it the other day and it was still out. We're gonna try to make this shade work, which is 14 Golden. Do feel like I could have maybe even gone down 1 or 2 shades from this, so not to be so golden, because online it does say that it has more of the golden undertone. Pumped it on the back of my hand. I'm gonna use it with a brush today. Usually I split brush and sponge, but because it is going to be more of that very hydrated foundation with so many skin loving ingredients, I don't want to use a sponge to sheer it out even more. 2, 3. It doesn't even look super runny, which is great. That probably was a lot of foundation, but we're gonna go ahead and dot it on my skin now. I don't have anything on my skin right now. It is all bare. The only thing is my morning skincare is on from a couple hours ago. I tried not to add any like serum sprays or anything prior to this application. I'm just going to completely dot my whole face, and I'm gonna go in with the BK Beauty brush. This is the N17 brush. I feel like straight away the shade is matching pretty okay. I definitely think I could have, you know, gone down a shade like I mentioned, but we're gonna make this work by applying like a tiny bit. It looks like I drank so much water. That looks so hydrating. Oh my. I love all Patrick Ta's products, especially the blushes. Also a major fan of Patrick Ta himself, so I'm hoping I love this. I have 2 mirrors in front of me. This looks amazing in both. And my monitor. Like, everything just looks so glowy. Now, there's a difference between looking glowy and oily. We know this. So I'm really hoping by the end of all this, I'm not like a greasy mess. And I evenly blend this all over, including my ears, a little bit on my neck. The shade looks like it's working out just fine right now. So that is great, because I was a little bit scared about that. On my hand, it does obviously look a little bit deeper, but I also feel like there's flexibility with the shades as well, and undertones, which is great because this does look pretty nice. I just have to add a little bit to the neck. I feel like I can feel some skincare. It kind of feels like I just applied my moisturizer and it's trying to like set down to dry. That could be a good and a bad thing. Like I said, like when I go into my concealer and bronzing, I don't want to have it like slipping and sliding around. We have to just wait on that, but that is looking pretty good. I have been loving applying my foundations with a brush, so I think this technique is great for me, but if you want to use a sponge, for sure do that. I just don't recommend using it completely wet. And if you do, make sure you wring it out so much, just because you don't want to wipe away the product you're applying and then have like too thin of a layer. 'Cause right now I don't see medium coverage at all because I could still see my skin peeking through, which I don't mind. I like that look. But because it claims to be medium coverage, I feel like you're not getting a full medium coverage, at least with the amount of product that I put on. It's so funny, I always feel like I'm not gonna be the shade match, but I somehow always end up working out. And even if it's not looking great at this moment with concealer, I can totally fix it. I could go a little nuts in the store trying to find my shade, and then I'm just like, okay, we're just gonna hope for the best here. I feel like it always ends up working out. So it is a little bit on the deeper side, not gonna lie. It's a little bit more golden than I would like it to be, but we kind of had to roll with the punches here. So I used all of the pumps on my hand right here. I do feel like I want to build it up a bit more. See, I personally love the look when my forehead and like my cheeks have this hydrated, like I drank a gallon of water type of look. Like, looks like I just applied my skincare is what I'm trying to say. But I know a lot of people don't love that look, and if you do have more normal to combo, you won't like that because you can feel it. I don't want to have that feeling. I don't want to feel like it's too dewy and too tacky. So that's just something to mentally know, that it kind of does have that feeling. It does not have a self-setting feeling at all. I can still feel like it's freshly applied. See why some people have mixed reviews, but then again, this is like my cup of tea. Like, this is exactly a radiant dewy finish foundation that I want to look like. I want it to look like my skin. And this looks like my skin for sure. Like, this is a great skin but better kind of representation. Nothing is being clung to, and I love the fact that there's no shimmer flecks in this, or like a little bit of a luminosity like flex to it, because that makes it look like you threw highlighter in it, and it does not have that, which I can appreciate. The only thing is, I would say it's ultra dewy, but I personally like that. So keep that in mind. I'm gonna lightly tap into the skin now to really push it in. I feel like that's also key with a product like this, because if you just left it like this and you go in with your concealer or your bronzer, and they are cream products, they're kind of just all meshing into one. Like, I wanna make sure it's seeping into my skin a little bit more and not just laying on top. This I feel like would be a great product if you just wanted to put a minimal amount, like maybe one pump, and you just needed to quickly leave the house, go out the door, and you know, you weren't wearing it all day long. I feel like it's a gorgeous look. Like, this looks super healthy to me. You're going to go in now with some concealer and cream bronzer and hopefully set this a little bit. I think with setting, it will make it look 10 times better. I don't feel like as I'm applying, it's like skipping or dragging. I do feel like the Patrick Ta foundation is sinking into the skin really nicely. I think it's meshing in pretty well together with everything. I feel like it wiped away a little bit of product by my nose. Nothing terrible. Not, you know, unbearable. I can totally manage it and fix it, but it does kind of smear it a tiny bit. I'm gonna go in with the Patrick Ta brush. This is the Face 2, and I'm gonna use this end right here and just blend out the cream contour. I mean, honestly, it doesn't look like it's moving anything. Everything looks like it's intact. It really just depends on what type of finish you're looking for. If you're looking for a like self-setting luminous foundation, this isn't it either. It's definitely still very much feeling, you know, dewy, but I think it is able to be managed. Like, I think that this looks great. It doesn't look like it's moving off my face at all, even using a brush. I'm not wiping it away. I love that hydrated look right there. That's my favorite. I reach for foundations like that. I'll even spray a dewy spray on top of my foundations to have that appearance. So I like the finish of this so far. Like, I'm loving it. I'm just gonna have to wait on the wear for it for me, because this to me looks great. I'm gonna finish up everything on the face, a little bit of mascara. I'm gonna come right back and share with you guys some more details and just my final thoughts on it. This is before I set it down with powder. I really do love the look of it. I would say I would of course need to set my smile lines under my eyes so they don't crease at all, because that totally can crease in about 5 minutes from now. I'm also not setting a ton, just minimal under my eyes and just a light sweeping over the base. I'm all complete. I just kept things minimal. I only set the areas that I really felt like I had to set, which would be my under eyes. Smile lines are already peeking through. That is completely normal for me. I would say tapping a bit faster with this one, but smile lines there are normal. Everywhere else is pretty normal for me. I think I really love the way that it looks, but I will have to keep this on to know for the lasting power. I'm gonna do a check-in for you, and then I'll of course have the rest down below in the description box as a little update as to what went on or how I ended up loving it, or if I didn't like it, it will be down below as well. I don't know, I feel like it's really mimicking my skin, very pretty, and just looks like your skin but better. So smooth and seamless with a little bit of a hint of that luminous look. We're gonna just leave it on for the rest of the day, and I'll come back and share with you guys my final thoughts. So This has been on for a little bit of time. Honestly, I really do love it. I think it looks really gorgeous on my skin. I think it looks like skin. It has such a nice softened, blurred look while giving that radiant look. Now, I will not say that it's medium coverage. Right off the bat, when I was applying, you can see it was not giving medium. It was totally giving more of a sheered, natural coverage, but you can build it up. I just think the more you build up, the more you're getting that glow. I still get the creases, but it's very minimal and I get that all the time, so it's really not a concern for me. Is it worth $58? If you love the finish that I love, which is more of that skin, your skin but better, you will love it, but make sure that you're setting it correctly. But if you have dry skin, you will love it. I think this is going to be a great foundation moving into fall and winter because it's giving that extra hydration that your skin does need. Fingers crossed we just don't break out from it, because like I said, I heard that you could. I do love the fact there is kombucha in it. I would say my skin looks really good. I'm very hydrated. We'll have an update box in the description, so check there. Make sure to check there. I'll have it on the actual video itself. If I did end up wearing it even longer, definitely make sure to check that out. I will leave it linked and listed for you down below in the description if you do want to check it out. Again, 30 shades. I feel like it's pretty flexible for most skin tones and complexions. So I love it. But if you are oily, just stay clear. Just wanted to check back and share with you guys all of that, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.